looks like your life is trailed by coming from obscurity into a place of leadership. The same thing, you came into Covenant Christian Center, and then within a short span, you became the pastor of one of the largest branches. And it looks like it's a pattern that follows you. It would be good to explore what do you think makes that possible for in case someone is listening and is wondering, I need to come from a place of obscurity and I need to stand on, as it were, on solid ground. What carries you on that journey to make that possible?
This is a very humbling question, and I must say that every time I think about it, I'm careful not to be make the presumption that this is something that I know how to recreate. But I will say some of the things that have perhaps enabled that to be possible, some enablers of that trajectory. And the first thing I'd like to say is the willingness to volunteer. I just talked about that a bit, but I want to expand on it a bit more. I think one thing with me, and it goes back to what I said about being passionate about life and being passionate about impact. It can sound cliche, but that's really who I am, to be honest. I couldn't think of a life or an existence where I was basically pursuing things that had me, just me at the center of it. It has to be a collective. It has to be something that enables us to carry other people along on that journey. So, um, you and I were in, school together, and I recall even from Lagos State Polytechnic all the way to Obafemi Awolowo University, if I was ever in a project group or in any group engagement, and volunteers were needed, I will be one of the first to volunteer. Not the first, but one of the first. Once I see that people are not willing to put themselves forward, for me, it's an automatic thing. And the reason is because it's a collective. If nobody is stepping forward to assist to move things forward, then how do we move things forward, right? So I'm on a table, I'm in a group project, I'm anywhere, and I see people picking roles. I'm never the one to sit back and want to be docile. So I want to be able to contribute. And so that has influenced how that trajectory has played out in even in what you call it then, Lagos State Polytechnic. I ended up rising to the role of the assistant choir lead, and I worked
Yes.
with Ronke at the time. And it wasn't that
Yes.
I positioned and said, "Oh, hey, look, I want to be noticed." It was that I was willing to share what I'd known. Now, the precursor to volunteering, obviously, is that you need to hone your skills. And I'll say this for people who are listening. Look, the reality is that skills will always, fish you out within the crowd. Skills are very important, right? People sometimes miss opportunities to hone their skills. There are sort of latent, gifts that people have, talents that people have, but without honing it, what happens is that it's not of much use to a lot of people.